Hi everyone, welcome to the Robert Show. We are here at the AI4 conference and look who I have with me, Zack from Tealium. Zack, welcome to the Robert Show. It's your debut, super excited to chat with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is the first time at the show, and it's already kind of buzzing. So
For sure.
this is going to be fun.
I'm excited because I know this is like one of the biggest AI conferences. But before we get into that, I would love to know a little bit about what you do at Tealium and what's happening at Tealium right now.
Yeah. So I work in marketing. So
Yeah.
I get the awesome opportunity of actually being a marketer who gets to talk to marketers. So
Yeah.
in product marketing, my job is evangelism, to go out and talk about Tealium.
Right.
Ultimately we are a customer data orchestration platform. Whether
Yep.
that's on the collection side, bringing data into anonymous data or known customer profiles, stitching them together, and then making them available, because ultimately that's where the value lies, is all that customer data scattered all over your organization is only good if you can use it, right? And
So true.
so that's what we focus on, and obviously that's a huge part of the AI story, and that's why we're here today.
I love it. Thanks for sharing these insights, Zach. One quick question around, we were talking about this off air, that this is like one of the biggest AI conference. And the space is evolving very quickly as well. But when it comes to AI, the first thing that enterprise leaders kind of think about is the data as well.
Yeah.
And the quality of data, the trusted data. What do you feel about it? Can you share your insights?
Yeah, I mean, just if you look around, this event, everybody is kind of talking about the how. So
Yep.
what's the technology? What are the models? What do you need? Which is great, but none of that works if you don't actually have good data, consented data,
Right.
Available to use when you need it. So whether that means, customer profile data, event data, behavioral information, all of that information unlocks a story about
Right.
who your customers are, what they're doing, and ultimately, where AI can pick up is adding context to that. But again, step one is getting all of that data together, and that is still a challenge for a lot of enterprise organizations.
That is so true. When it comes to, obviously the quality of data and the trusted data, that kind of plays a very important role. And in the AI space, I talk to a lot of enterprise leaders, and that's one of the biggest things that they kind of think about. One more question, just to follow up on this one itself. How has AI changed the meaning of real-time data? Can you share a little bit about that?
So it's funny because real time is different. It means different things to different people, and within customer data, there's real time for personalization. So in
Right.
session on website, that's obviously super important. But a lot of things you don't necessarily need real time, and people were afraid to put that spend into real time for many years because maybe the maturity of their enterprise wasn't, they didn't quite need it, or
Yep.
they weren't set up to use it. But now AI is changing that, because obviously when you have a model that's going out and doing real-time searching,
Yep.
looking across thousands of data points, obviously in-moment answer, basically, right?
Yep.
Having now real-time customer data, customer behavioral data that is available to those models, either
Yep.
for computation or for a chat experience, is now becoming almost mission critical.
Yes.
And really kind of changing how companies need to think about real time.
Totally. I think that's how real-time data has been, obviously being processed right now, and how the enterprise leaders are also looking at it. One more quick question. I know you've been, you'll be on the stage tomorrow.
I am.
And you'll be talking about some 5 trends.
Yes.
I want to know a little bit about those 5 trends, and how does it help the enterprise to think about things differently?
Well, so when it comes to your customer data strategy, obviously this has been a topic that has been debated for a decade, right?
Right.
But the reality is the next 6 months is going to dramatically change many people's definition of their data strategy.
Yep.
So, for example, personalization. We've talked about this a couple times now. Personalization is going to start moving away from on browser and being controlled by a brand, and moving to a kind of client-side experience. So I'll give you an example. I often use Perplexity, and I'm asking it now, what new shows should I watch, or what comedy specials are coming out?
Yep.
And my personalized experience is now happening on my side of the house,
Exactly.
as opposed to waiting for Netflix to provide me recommendations or Hulu.
Oh, wow.
And so how we think about, where data lives, where personalization
Right.
lives, where that experience lives, is one thing.
Yep.
The other idea is ultimately the shift from anonymous data is going to become a lot more agentic.
Agentic.
People are doing
That's right.
searches. We've seen brands already talking about how their revenue is down because Google is giving answers right now in page, so it's driving down clicks. And if you don't have anonymous data, you may not be able to drive these kind of personalized journeys on your website or in follow-ups anymore.
Right.
So now you have to start thinking about, well, what's my first-party data strategy? How am I collecting? We've already been talking about this for years. AI is just going to be a forcing function that ultimately drives brands to have to kind of think how and when they collect data and what that means to them.
I love it. And Zach, one more follow-up question, since you have obviously a lot of insights around AI and data. What's your advice for those marketers out there who have been adopting AI? Any thoughts?
So I would say I have two tips. One is just start playing with it, right? Absolutely start getting into the model, starting to understand how they work, how they think, and try different tools. Because, at the end of the day, if you're going to have to go out and create use cases and create a strategy around that, you need to know how they work.
Exactly.
But I think secondarily is start with the end in mind. I think there's a lot of excitement around AI, and everybody's like, oh, we need to just make it AI, make AI, put AI in our organization, and like, cool, yeah. But the reality is, what's a problem? What can't I do? And how can I automate that potentially in a way that AI can, either make my life easier, make my customers' experience better, whatever. But start with outcomes. Start with focus out there.
That's so true. When it comes to AI, I feel the same. You should just start playing around first. You'll get to learn, and there's a long way, and there's so much magic that's happening there.
Yes.
Also, another one for you is I wanted to know a little bit about the Tealium for AI.
Yeah.
How can people start using it? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, that can happen in a couple different manners, right? One is as brands are starting to build models or use customer data, we ultimately can collect all that information and make it available to those models, whether you're running them in your cloud data warehouse or you're using a third-party provider, obviously orchestrating that data and feeding it into the model to get better output. So number one, that's a great use case for just making the data available.
Nice.
And then once a prediction's been made or the AI has done something, we can then help you activate that back out. But more importantly, I think where we're going in the real-time scenario is being able to make that through, say, an MCP, which is how models talk to other models, making your customer data available in real time. And I'll give you a use case. I'll give you a scenario.
For sure. Would love to know a little bit.
So let's say if you're a brand, if you're a retailer, you're selling something on your website, somebody comes to your site now and searches, right? If I'm only doing a search off of my product catalog, you're missing a huge opportunity now going forward to drive a much more personalized experience. What if when I land on the site, instead of searching for a product, it says, what are you looking for? What do you want? Well, I'm going on a trip to Spain and I'm looking for a new outfit. And now the search is not search, but it's an agent going out, looking at the product catalog.
Oh, wow.
But also looking at everything you've bought from them. So that they can
Exactly.
make a recommendation, say, hey, you might want to add these two pieces, and oh, by the way, this accessory will go great with the shorts and shirt or the jacket or the outfit that you've bought and make it more useful for Spain, because, by the way, in September, we know what the weather's going to be like in Spain. We can make contextual recommendations.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Search becomes so much more valuable and usable than just here's 10 results on a page.
Yeah, I think it's more about the recommendation that kind of plays a very important role, but also pre-training the models according to the choices and preferences kind of becomes such a huge thing.
Yeah.
This is great. Zach, thanks for sharing all the great insights. We'll keep the conversation going, but just for our audience, if people want to learn more about what's happening at Tealium, where can they do that? And also, if they want to follow you, reach out to you, which is the best place?
Yes, absolutely. So obviously Tealium.com.
Yep.
You can find us. You can get a demo. You can watch our videos. I'm on LinkedIn.
Nice.
Zack Wenthe, ZackWenthe. Find me, connect with me. I'm happy to answer any questions that your listeners may have.
Yeah, for sure.
And talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Zach, such a pleasure chatting once again. Thanks for doing this. We'll keep the conversation going, and great work by Tealium.
All right, thank you.
Congrats. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.